Have you ever set your alarm for 5 a.m. with big plans, only to hit snooze, roll over, and wake up at 8 o'clock feeling like you already failed the day? You promise yourself, tomorrow I'll do better, but tomorrow turns into next week, next month, next year. You've probably heard successful people talk about waking up early. You've probably tried it once or twice, and you probably told yourself, I'm just not a morning person. But what if I told you that the first hour of your day has the power to completely rewrite your future? What if I told you that one small habit, repeated daily, can turn an ordinary person into someone extraordinary? Today, I'm going to tell you the true-to-life story of a man who had nothing. No money, no degree, no connections. Until 5 a.m. became his secret weapon. Stay with me until the end, because this story might become the turning point of your life. In a quiet industrial town, where smokestacks rose above cracked streets and factory machines hummed day and night, lived a 31-year-old man named Ethan Carter. Ethan worked as a night security guard at a storage warehouse on the edge of town. Every evening at 8 p.m., he clocked in. Every morning at 6 a.m., he clocked out, exhausted and numb. His paycheck barely covered rent and instant noodles. He lived in a tiny one-room apartment with peeling paint, a broken ceiling fan, and a mattress on the floor. His clothes were worn thin. His shoes had holes in the soles. But worse than physical poverty was the feeling that his life was shrinking. Each morning, as Ethan walked home while the sky slowly turned orange, he passed houses where lights were turning on. He saw families eating breakfast, children putting on backpacks, men and women in clean clothes heading to jobs that looked meaningful. And a single thought haunted him every day. Is this all my life will ever be? He wasn't lazy. He worked hard. He stayed alert all night. He followed every rule. But no matter how hard he worked, nothing changed. He felt like he was running on a treadmill that never moved forward. Ethan had tried to escape. He applied for better jobs, but with only a high school diploma, no one called back. He wanted to learn new skills, but after working all night, he was too tired to do anything except sleep. His mother lived in a small rural village and called him every week. One night she said quietly, "Son, I'm getting older. I just want to see you succeed before I go." Ethan forced a laugh and said, "Soon, Mom? I'm working on it." But when the call ended, he stared at the wall, knowing he had no plan. One cold November morning, as Ethan was finishing his shift, his phone rang. It was his sister. "You need to come home." Mum collapsed. "She's in the hospital." Panic flooded his body. He took the first bus out of town. When he arrived, he found his mother weak, pale, and barely able to sit up. The doctor said exhaustion and stress had caused her to faint. She needed better food, rest, and medicine Ethan couldn't afford. His mother held his hand and whispered, "Please don't waste your life like I did. Promise me you'll find a way." That moment broke something inside Ethan. Not with tears, but with determination. He stepped outside the hospital. The sky was still dark. Birds were beginning to sing. It was exactly 5 a.m., and standing there in the cold air, Ethan made a silent vow. "I don't know how yet, but I will change my life." On the bus ride back to town, Ethan noticed a well-dressed man in his 50s reading a book. He recognized him as Mr. Harrison, a local businessman who owned several stores. It was 6 a.m. Ethan couldn't understand why a successful man was riding a public bus so early. Summoning courage, he asked, "Sir, why are you up this early?" Mr. Harrison smiled. "Because the early morning is when I build my future." He explained that he wakes up at 4:30 a.m. every day to read, plan, and learn before the world wakes up. He said something that shook Ethan to his core. Most people lose their lives between snooze buttons. Mr. Harrison looked at Ethan's tired face and asked about his schedule. When Ethan explained he slept from morning until afternoon, Mr. Harrison nodded. You're awake when the world sleeps and asleep when opportunity is alive. That's why you feel stuck. Then he said, the hours between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. are not normal hours. They are power hours. If you control those hours, you can control your life. Mr. Harrison gave Ethan a simple plan. As soon as you get home, wake up at 5 a.m., use 2 hours every day to build skills and strengthen yourself. He handed Ethan his phone number and said, if you're serious, call me in 3 months and show me what you've built. The next morning, Ethan's alarm rang at 5 a.m. His body screamed, no. His mind begged for 5 more minutes. But he remembered his mother's face. He sat up, then stood up. That single moment was the hardest step of his entire journey. The first week was brutal. Ethan felt tired, foggy, and irritable. But every morning at 5 a.m., he sat at his small table and watched free tutorials on Excel and basic accounting. At 6 a.m., he walked outside and forced himself to move for 30 minutes. No fancy gym, just walking, just breathing, just showing up. After about 3 weeks, something strange happened. Waking up became easier. His brain felt sharper. He began understanding formulas, spreadsheets, and bookkeeping basics. He completed his first free online certificate, then a second, then a third. His walks turned into light jogs. His posture improved. His confidence grew. After 2 months, co-workers started noticing. You look different, they said. Healthier. More focused. Ethan simply smiled. In his 3rd month, Ethan built a simple inventory tracking spreadsheet for the warehouse, organizing everything that had always been chaotic. He showed it to his supervisor. The supervisor showed the manager. The manager showed the owner. On day 89, Ethan was called into the office. The owner said, "We're opening an accounting assistant position. You understand our warehouse, and you clearly have skills. The job is yours if you want it. Day shift. Double your current pay." Ethan felt dizzy. 3 months earlier, he was hopeless. Now, his life was changing. 1 year later, Ethan became a full accountant. He moved his mother to town and paid for her medical care. He rented a clean apartment. But one thing never changed. He still woke up at 5 a.m. because success isn't a destination. It's a daily practice. And here's the truth most people never realize. The difference between where you are and where you want to be isn't intelligence. It isn't luck. It isn't talent. It's what you do when no one is watching. Between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m., distractions are low. Your willpower is high. Your mind is fresh. This is when lives are rebuilt. So here's your challenge. Tonight, set your alarm for 5 a.m. Put your phone across the room. Decide what skill you will start learning. And commit to 90 days. If you're ready to take control of your future, hit the like button. Comment below what you'll build in your first hour. Subscribe for more life-changing stories and strategies. Remember, your future is created in silence before the world wakes up. Will you be awake?